Hi, everybody. I'm Roy Firestone, and this is Kane Sport, greatest of all time. You know Jim Kelly for his stardom as the quarterback for the University of Miami, the Hurricanes, his eventual greatness first in the USFL, and then as a Hall of Fame quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. He led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls. But Jim Kelly is so much more than his athletic achievements. He personifies the term Kelly Tough. He endured, along with his family, the tragic death of a son, and then personally endured and fought multiple cancer battles. He's a true profile in courage. Today, one of the toughest people I've ever known in sports, and one of the most inspirational people anyone will ever know. Jim Kelly, our guest. What a great thing to see. My friend Jim Kelly, looking well, looking happy. How you feeling? That's the most important question everybody wants to know right now. How you doing?
I feel great. As a matter of fact, I just got back from Ireland.
Wow.
First time, just real quick. I just spent over a week with my brothers in Ireland. So I got home last night, so I'm feeling pretty good. A little tired, but other than that, feeling great. I thank God that I'm still here.
We're grateful too, man. We're going to talk about a lot of things today, and we're going to throw back to 20 years ago at the Hall of Fame in one of the most dramatic. I was there, by the way, because there was Dan Hampton, I think, John Stallworth, George Allen, Dave Casper also in that class. But I was there that day, and I had tears pulled into my face when I heard this moment. Watch.
Then there's my only son, Hunter, born on February 14th, Valentine's Day, my birthday. The son I've always wanted. But within 4 months, my son was diagnosed with a fatal disease called Krabbe leukodystrophy. It has been written throughout my career that toughness is my trademark. Well, the toughest person I've ever met in my life is my hero, my soldier, my son, Hunter. I love you, buddy.
Really emotional. Do you get emotional even watching it now?
I just did. Yeah, I do.
Tell me what you were feeling just now.
Well, I miss him. I miss him every day of my life. I have a nephew named Zach who has almost taken that role over because he was born 11 days before my son was born. And I pretty much thought what every daddy thinks about. I mean, spend time with them, having Zach there and my brother Danny. And when they played football, Hunter would be quarterback and wearing number 12, and Zach would be wearing number 83 as Andre. And I love the outdoors.
By the way, Hunter was Hunter Jim Kelly, right? He took the middle name was James or Jim Kelly, right?
Hunter James. Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, I love to hunt and fish and all that. I just love the outdoors. So I automatically thought of all the great things that we're going to do. And the funny thing is also, well, I shouldn't say funny thing, is a lot of my brothers all had boys, and I was very blessed to have a beautiful daughter named Erinn first. But of course, I always hoped and prayed that I would have a son. But to be honest with you, I know that God has a different plan for me. And, when this happened, when he was diagnosed, and especially when he first came out, when he was born, I had all those great things, all those memories. The game plan was done, the script was written, and unfortunately, 4 months into his life, he passed away. Well, I shouldn't say 4 months into his life, he was diagnosed, and then there's so many things and so many different things that happened through the course of his life, but he passed away at the age of 8.5, and all the things I've been through, not only, going to the 4 Super Bowls and, winning any and all the things. And I was looking at God, and I was mad. And when I ran from God, my wife seeked the Lord. And but now that I've been through so much more, I understand why.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to talk about that.
But a difference maker. Yeah. So yeah.
I wanted to. You talked about Erinn, and she was joking, saying, "Hey, my dad and my dad definitely wanted boys, but he got me." But she was so great when we talked to her about life, about Hunter, about you, but I want you to listen to what she said, what Hunter gave to your family. Watch.
I feel like our family got life from Hunter. Everything that we got, joy, we got just passion to help other people. We have a story that we can share to give hope to those who feel hopeless. And Hunter, because of Hunter, we have faith in God. And without him, we wouldn't have that. He taught us to live every day as if it was our last. And I think through Hunter's life, he made us who we are. I mean, we wouldn't be the people that we are today without him. And he taught us so much about fighting the good fight. And like my dad said in his speech, like, that's his hero, and he's my hero too.
What did he teach? We have a couple pictures. What did he teach you, Hunter, even as a baby?
To stay tough. More than anything, that things are going to happen to all of us. It's not so much what he taught me through that, but the way he fought, the way that I saw every day, him never giving up, how everybody could, count him out and boom. And to be honest with you, I remember when my mother-in-law yelled at Jill and I to quit treating him like he was dying, because we did. We woke up every morning and thinking, is this the last day that we're going to have our son with us? And he taught me to love each and every moment that you're with your loved ones. And it taught me to love in a different way, how, as you travel, you see all these people going through tough times. And I always reflect back on Hunter, how he never, ever gave up. And that's pretty much what he taught me as I battled my cancer all those times, to never give up. There's only one person knows our day, and that's a good Lord. And Hunter taught me so much. And I'm so proud of my daughter, Erinn. I mean,
both of your daughters, really,
totally. I mean, of course, Erinn was our first, and the way she goes about things, the way she speaks about it, and
writes about it too. She had a great book with your wife, Jill. Beautiful book. That's Bobby.
My gosh. Yeah, I think it was 18-year-old to have a New York Times bestseller. But you know what? My daughters, they've been there from start to finish with me. Even though I went through all those things, my daughters taught me the toughness too. And they never once walked into my hospital room with a frown on their face. They walked in with an attitude they're going to make my day better by what they said and how they reacted. Like, Daddy, how you doing today? You look great. I mean, I don't know about you, but anytime you're not feeling good, that positive response around you is such, it helps so much.
Yeah. Jim, we're going to go fast forward to when you got the first diagnosis, 2013, June. At the time, the doctors in Erie County Medical Center removed part of your jaw, part of the roof of your mouth, numerous teeth. Outside the Lines did a brilliant piece about what you were going through, and I want to play some of it back, and maybe we can reflect on what it was like about 9 years ago.
Gotcha.
Number 12 from the Buffalo Bills.
My name is Jim Kelly. I'm a husband, a father.
He didn't hesitate. That's why he's #1 quarterback in the league.
A Hall of Fame quarterback, and I have cancer. As I sit in the chair I'm in today, I know that I'll never be the same. The guy asked me, did you ever think about dying? No, but until you hear the word cancer, you think about it.
You said you will never be the same. Is it possible, Jim, in a strange way, you're a better man?
I thought of that answer you just gave before you even said it. There's no doubt that I'm a better person now, by far. I have so many different things that go through my mind, so many more things that are more important than, the word football or professional athlete. There's no doubt that Hunter taught me a lot, and he taught me to never give up. He told me to treat people better. Don't ever put yourself on a pedestal above anybody else.
Mm.
He never needed to speak a word. Just by what he lived through and what he went through taught me enough to know that I can be a better person. And there's no doubt in my mind that I am.
You know, Jim, going back to Erinn, we tried to get her to define Jim Kelly. Pretty emotional what she said. I want you to watch this.
My dad is, I want to say first that he's real. And by that, I mean that when people look at celebrities, they often think they have their own perceptions of who this person is. And, you know, they have money and they have fame and, you know, they must have the greatest life. But my dad's just a real person. And anyone that has met him, whether it's a fan or whoever it is, he's real and he's genuine and he's down to earth. And he's just a person. He's just like everybody else. Yeah, he had an incredible football career and he is a Hall of Famer, but more than that, he's just a real person and he wants to impact people in such an incredible way through his story. And my dad is vulnerable and authentic, and he has no fear in sharing his faith, no fear in sharing his story. He wants to help others. And that's something that I admire the most about him, is that he is not wasting his pain. He's not wasting the journey he's walking through. He is passionate about impacting others. And the saying that he has coined and just says in all of his speaking engagements to encourage people is to make a difference today for someone who is fighting for their tomorrow. And that's exactly what he does. He makes a difference for the people that are still fighting for their tomorrow.
What was a remarkable thing to hear and to read in her book was you tried to make a difference for someone who had terminal cancer in the next door from your room. And you tried to uplift them uplift him while you were in physical pain, while you were enduring this incredible chemotherapy, radiation, throwing up every 15 minutes. And yet you went next door to try to comfort him. That really got me.
Yeah, I remember that moment, and I never will forget it, because when you walk the floors, especially in the type of floor I was on, where everybody was fighting for their tomorrows, and I was very blessed to have 5 brothers. I was very blessed to have my wife and 2 daughters that would come and see me, and my friends.
By the way, we have a couple of pictures, and this is one of the most touching pictures. This is a very famous photo. I saw that, I teared up the first time I saw it. Can you talk about what that was like to have all of that support from your family, especially those girls?
Yeah, I know that when we talk about all this, my mind automatically goes into the mode of my life, and when I travel the country speaking. But when I look at a picture like that, it just gives comfort to my heart, knowing that my family will be there till the day I die. And I just know that a lot of times I wasn't really all with it when my family came in, but I can honestly say they made my day better by their presence every single time they walked into my room, because I thought, I can't let them go. They've already lost their little brother. They already lost their son, my wife. I cannot let them lose their daddy too. And I there's not enough words that I can put together to describe how much love I have in my heart for my 2 daughters, my wife.
The love that they had for you and the love that strangers had for you. We have some more shots of what it was like in that hospital. Of course, there are your kids. I think this was the final day before you came out of the hospital, but the outpouring, the respect, people who you will never meet in your life, all wishing you well. And you, in turn, with your foundations and Kelly for Kids and Hunter's Hope, all of these things, you gave back. But look at this reaction. I mean, yes, you were a famous celebrity and a Hall of Famer, but you got to feel that they loved the love that they had for you. And there's Dan Marino walking in with stone crabs from South Florida. I mean, it must have been overwhelming to see that kind of love while you're alive. when people pass away, the eulogies are about love, but you got to see an actual living eulogy of sorts, you know, with people saying how much they love you while you're here.
I mean, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I live by the 4S. Number one is my faith, and number two is my family. Number three is my friends. And as you saw, Dan Marino has been a good friend of mine since day one. But the thing probably surprised me more is the letters and the emails I got from Patriot fans, Dolphin fans, Jets fans, Cowboys. I'm like, really? You guys are really hoping I live? Yeah, that surprised me a little bit more than anything. And, you know, teams send a poster from all the players, New Orleans Saints, and having everybody sign it. Those things made me feel good. Even though we are battling for the same thing, when it comes to your family, when it comes to friendship, you rallied for the people around you that you love, whether they're, you know, Buffalo Bill fans or whether they're from somewhere else. It's awesome.
They took a line of people coming out of the hospital when you open those doors to come home. And this is one of the most emotional things. They're, of course, your kids, but then they open the door and look at that scene. Tell the folks what that felt like.
Surprise number one, because they never said anything, and seeing everybody wearing those jerseys and the line, I couldn't do much talking, but the smile, not so much from my face, but from my heart, made me feel so good. It made me thank God that I never did give up, that these people are here because they love me. And I, to this day, words can't describe the feeling you have when so many people rally behind you. And I've always told my wife I'm a blessed man because of the friends that I have. So,
you know, you said words can't describe, and even though you were in pain and your jaw barely worked, whatever you had in your mouth, you did put together some words and you thanked those people. And this is maybe the most emotional moment, I think, of all. Watch.
I know I could not have done this without family and friends, and you guys have been here. Thank you. Guys got a long way to go, but I know with you people on my team, I'll be here for many, many more years and many, many more parties. And yeah, so thank you guys.
For a guy who couldn't talk, you did pretty good.
you know what the funny thing
That's
is?
some moment, huh? That's some moment.
It you know, it puts a smile on my face. Heart wrenching, there was no doubt. And even, I mean, I don't know where the whole thing we're going to talk about, but I know that I put my foot in my mouth a few times over my career and things, but I just recently had my fibula bone put in my mouth. So
Really?
They took my whole left fibula bone out. They broke it into 4 pieces, completely removed my whole upper jaw, and then screwed it all in and took, you know, I'd go on and on. But 12-hour surgery later, here I am today, and handsome as ever.
Yeah. Hey, Jim.
I had to say that. I had to say that.
Of course. We'll vouch for that, man. You know, I think about what Valvano said. You got the Valvano Award for courage. And, you know, some people say, you know, Jim didn't have much time left. I don't know how much, if you thought you had much time left, but he said at the time, and I was there that night of the speech with Jim Valvano in New York, and he said, cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It can't touch my mind. It can't touch my heart. It cannot touch my soul. I want you to reflect on that for a moment.
For me, I mean, that's where I met a lot of my friends because I know how important Jim Valvano, every word he said, everything he stood for. But I remember going to his golf tournament and the people I met and gotten to really know the real Jim Valvano, because you know what? I didn't know him that well, but what he's meant to so many people, not just celebrities like myself, but just the everyday 9-to-5 person that has had the same cancer as I have the same thing Jim was going through. He is a difference maker. He always will be. And to the day I die, he still will be somebody I'll look up to and know that I just strive to be even close to what he's done.
You talk about difference makers, and we did talk about your daughters and Jill, and we're going to talk more specifically about Jill in a few moments. We have some pictures of your family in happy times when you're out of that hospital. Where is this, and what is this? And if you can take us through a couple of these pictures here.
This is definitely at our Hunter's Hope Medical Symposium in upstate New York, in Ellicottville, New York. And all the balloons around, we wrote little notes on it to Hunter, because when those balloons were released, they'd go up, they're going up, and they're going up, and they're going to heaven. And I remember that day we did a walk for him and for all the families that were there, probably over 75 families that were represented with the same disease and same leukodystrophy that my son had, were there with their children, and the ones that they were sending their balloons up to their children in heaven. So yeah, as you can see, the smiles on our faces, because we were able to be a difference maker for so many families out there that had no way that they knew which way to turn, because like Jill and I, long story short, that we had nobody to turn to. We didn't know what leukodystrophy was. And now they look to us to help them get to the point where we're at now, thank God for what Hunter did for our lives.
Here's some other pictures with your family. This is, I think, at Liberty University. Your daughters went to Liberty, attended Liberty. I don't know how far this was out when you were out of the hospital.
I don't know. I don't know.
But I mean, the outpouring of love, every place you go, and there you are being honored again. I mean, you have become a different kind of celebrity. And I don't even like to use the word celebrity. There's Jill, when you were coming out of the hospital, you became an inspirational figure well beyond your athletic career. And there's your beautiful daughter and your wife. Well beyond your playing career, you became an inspirational fan. And you do a lot of inspirational speeches. Hunter's Hope and Kelly's for Kids is one of your foundations. We also want to show a couple of pictures of some of your teammates. I think this is Bruce Smith. It looks like Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas.
Yep.
The very personification of what's great about sports, Jim, is teammates, real teammates, people who will be your teammate for the rest of your life. There's Danny Marino. Can you just speak to that word, what a teammate is too?
For me, it was my life. When we were going through, I mean, of course, pretty much everybody knows the 4 Super Bowls in a row that we went to and didn't come out on top. How that drew us probably closer than we would have been if we would have won 1 or 2 of them. We've been through all of it. Bruce and I both, he lost his father and I lost my mother to the same illness, and that was emphysema. And just how we do things together. Thurman Thomas, a good example. He was in Ireland with me, so that was pretty cool. So he went along with us, but we get together all the time. And my teammates, we went through this together, not just, football wise, but off the field. When Ken Hall passed away, when you have players like Darryl Talley just lost his father, who was really close to all of us. We stay together as a family. We keep in touch. They come to my golf tournament. We come up and have dinner together. We go different places. We go to Napa Valley. We've had a lot, but our family we are so blessed to have each other.
Your wife, Jill, is really a special human being. She's been through a hell of a lot, and not just the cancer and not just losing a son. You spoke to your own daughter, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it's in the book. And you were so raw. You told Erinn that there was a time in your life you weren't true to your wife. Now, with the vows and all the things that retaking those vows, and the pictures you're about to see of Jill Kelly, tell us about your love. Tell us about the specialness of your relationship.
She's amazing. I don't know if I would have been able to go through all that I went through if I did not have her. Yeah, we went through some tough times, and I did, man up to not only my daughter, but I manned up to my wife and told her that I have not been the husband I should have been. And I knew that if I did not change my life, that I was going to lose everything I worked so hard for, not just my family, but our foundation and everything that name Kelly stood for. And
What's this picture here? Looks like
Oh.
she's wearing her wedding dress. Is that right?
Oh yeah. She came in there with her wedding dress on, and as soon as I saw that, I started to laugh. And even though you can see where I'm holding my stomach because of surgery and everything, but I
Oh,
knew
wow.
that that's what makes it. That's making a difference today for someone fighting for their tomorrow. I was the one fighting for my tomorrow. She was the one that was making a difference today for me, to give me that hope, to give me that feeling of I can do this. I can do this. And that picture right there of my daughter, I prayed to God every night that if it was God's will, that I would be there today. I could walk my daughter down the aisle, and it was answered. I was able to do that. I was able to do the daughter daddy dance. So, man, you got me smiling now, which is what I needed. I mean, you looked at some of those pictures, they do reflect on some of the bad times, some of the hard times, but I'll tell you what, she has definitely pulled me through the tough times, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today.
Before we're actually going to talk football in a few moments, believe it or not, but I want to, before we do, get you to comment on the word love and the power of love and the strength that comes from love in your life, from your family, from your friends. I know faith is important. We're going to talk about that too, but just try to tell folks what love really is to Jim Kelly.
Trusting each other with your heart, with your feelings, being able to not be scared to share the good with the bad, because you cannot get love. You cannot have love if you don't share both of those, because what that does, it builds up inside you, inside your heart. And after it builds up to a certain point where it tilts the wrong way, things are not going to work out. You have to be able to talk things through, be honest, be sincere, and be willing to open your heart up when most people probably would not do that. And that's what I had to do. And that's what I had to learn. And I did learn it from a woman who made me the man I am today.
Nicely said. Faith, you lost your son tragically. He only made it to 8.5. You had 4 bouts with cancer, relapses. Your own daughter was at the Wailing Wall putting a prayer that she wrote, having heard that you had a relapse, into the Wailing Wall. Did you at any time question your faith? Did you question God?
Oh, yes, I did. And I was born and raised a Catholic, and I went to church, but I went to church physically, but not mentally. When we lost our son Hunter, all the things, and there's a big story behind it, but I know we don't have time to share it. But you know what? I just was wondering why God would put me through so much, from the Super Bowls to blowing my shoulder out my senior year in college, to having a son born on my birthday, which I thought that was a blessing, to having him diagnosed and see what he went through, and then my cancer. And early on, my first couple bouts with it, I doubted. There's no doubt about it. I doubted my faith. And if it wasn't for my wife and, the convincing of that, and my mother-in-law, I definitely would not be here today, or I wouldn't be the man. I should say I would not be the man I am today, because I knew that's what I needed, and they helped me get to the point where I accepted it. And now today, as I sit here talking to you, I accept it, because I know why God put me in this situation, so I can travel the country speaking to people that are looking to give up on their lives, to give up on their loved ones. And I've said this a number of times, that you don't have to be a professional athlete. You don't have to be a superstar musician. You can just be your normal 9-to-5, a nurse, a truck driver, whatever the case may be, because you can be the person that makes a difference for somebody you love, or somebody you want to just put your arms around and say, you'll get through this. I'm with you. And I've learned so much in these last probably 10, 12 years of my life, more than I've learned anything.
Very, very well said. Before we talk football, fear. Do you fear the shadow coming back? Do you fear suddenly feeling pain again in your mouth or your jaw? I know when you felt the pain, that was when they found out that it had come back again. do you still have fear, or can you just put it out of your mind?
Not one bit. Heck no, I don't fear at all. You know why? Because I know where I'm going. When I die, I know I'm going to see my son. And there's only one person that knows that day, and that's the good Lord above. And if I go out tomorrow, if you decide tomorrow's my day, and I'm going out with a cold beer in one hand and a margarita in the other, and my love in my heart for my family, saying, I will see you one day, and I know where it's going to be. It's going to be right up there with my son, Hunter.
Beautiful. Okay, you want to talk a little football?
I love it. Let's do it.
Now, we have this picture of you at Miami, and people forget that you were really considered to be a linebacker and Schnellenberger changed all that. Howard, there's a picture of you and Howard right behind you, by the way, as we speak. But he said, hell no, this guy's a quarterback. Now we're going to show you beating Penn State, and Joe Paterno wanted you as a linebacker. This was the coming out for Jim Kelly. It changed everything at Miami for quarterbacks. Take us through it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I went to Miami when I was told that they were going to throw the football and they were run the veer offense. And as you well know, I'm not a running quarterback. So my redshirt freshman year, Coach Schnellenberger, after, during pregame meal, the day of the game against Penn State, this game right here, he pulled me aside and he said, I need to speak with you, son. And I walked away thinking, oh boy, what did I do wrong? And then when we got over to the side, he said, I decided today you're starting. And I said, wow. What? He said,
you found out that day against Penn State that you were
4 hours before the game at pregame meal. He told me, first thing I did was I excused myself, went into the bathroom, and I threw up for like 15 minutes. I came back out and he's standing there and he said, you all right? And I go, Coach, don't worry. I said, I did that before every high school game. He goes, okay, then let's go get him.
And you did.
And we went on to beat him.
And you beat him twice. You beat.
Yep.
What was it like for an East Brady, Pennsylvania kid who was heavily recruited by Joe Paterno at Penn State to beat the Nittany Lions twice and then go to the Peach Bowl?
I loved it. I mean, of course, that was that I wanted to play for. I went to his football camp twice and thought I did enough to prove to him that I was a quarterback. But unfortunately, he signed the two guys he wanted, and I don't know whether you noticed or not. I mean, I come from a little small dinky town outside in the country in Pennsylvania. I think I had 28 on my football team, 65 in my graduating class, and there was 800 in our hometown. My first 4 starts as a college quarterback as a young one, Penn State, that game we just watched, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Florida. My first 4 games. Welcome to big time NCAA football. It felt good to beat the guy that thought that I wasn't good enough to play for him. That's for sure.
And you know what's funny? I don't know if you'll agree with me. I think you started the momentum for quarterback you. After you came Bernie, and then Erickson, and then you Steve Walsh and Gino and Vinny and they all Dorsey, and they went right down the line. But you were the guy who got it going. Do you agree?
100%, because what happened was I recruited Bernie Kosar and Vinny Testaverde, both to come to the University of Miami, more Bernie than Vinny. And once they got there, then that was up to Coach to decide, which way to go with what quarterback. But from that point on, everybody wanted to go to Miami. I had Earl Morrill as my quarterback coach. So that was very, very special to me. But they brought some good quarterbacks in. And as we all well know, we won 4 or 5 national championships after that.
Yeah. And Tyler Van Dyke is this young stud that they like a lot now. I don't know if you've met him or talked to him or what advice you'd give him, but they're saying it's going to be right in the same lineage that you came from.
Well, that's what we need. We need a quarterback in Miami. We haven't had one in a while. And the thing is, that's how you win. If you don't have a quarterback in today's world, the world we live in with the passing game, you're never going to get to the top. And that's one thing I have not talked to him yet, but I hope to get to a game or 2 this year. I'm still all about the U. I get that. I love it. I still go to Miami all the time, see a bunch of my buddies down there, and it's my second home.
Good.
Dolphin fan or not.
UM honored you several times, first to the Hall of Fame. This was the day I was there at Kelly Tough Day, I guess. We played, I think it may have been Virginia Tech. I can't remember. I'm not sure. It was Virginia Tech. Look at that beautiful picture. And of course, the frame jersey isn't for you, it's for Hunter, which was what a wonderful gesture that was. And then we have a little bit later, and when you inspired the University of Miami when you spoke. And of course, as we said before, you appeared, I think you were at a basketball game too. There you are. You're an inspirational figure, my friend, not just at Miami, but all over the world. And I just want you to know that there is so much inspiration from Jim Kelly. You've done such an unbelievable job in changing people's lives with your foundation, with your Hunter's Hope, with Kelly's for Kids, and Kelly for Kids, and your whole family. It's become a rallying point. And in the final moments, I want to throw one word at you and take your time answering it and what it means, because it's part of what you have in one of your foundations for Hunter, and that is the word hope. Jim, take a few moments in the final thoughts about hope as well as faith. And they're by the way, intertwined, faith and hope.
I know that I wouldn't be where I am today without my faith. That's number one by far. When you speak about word hope, it's hard to describe it, because I, in my own heart, always hoped and wished that I would have a son to be able to do all those things that I dreamt about doing. But Hunter gave me more than hope. He gave me that feeling of, he taught me those things that I was missing in my life, in my heart. Even though Hunter never spoke a word, his heart has resonated through my body, knowing that I can be a difference maker, and he doesn't have to be walking the face of the earth today, talking to people. He moves through my heart so I can talk to people through him, knowing that we both can be a difference maker. Just one person, but two in the heart. And that one's coming from my little buddy in the sky.
Beautifully said. You sound great. You look great. I'm so happy that you had a chance to chat with us, Jim Kelly. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being the person you are and rallying people all over the world. Again, some people you've never met, maybe never will meet, for your inspirational story of courage, commitment, and Hunter's story too.
I appreciate that. It's an honor speaking with you, and God bless you. And the only thing I can say now is, let's go, Buffalo.
And let's go Canes too.
Oh yeah, it's all about you. It's all about you. But I just want to thank you very much for this, and for all those people out there going through tough times. Never, ever give up, because there is, as we talk, there's hope for the future, and it's tomorrow. So take it easy, bud.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
And that's our show for this particular episode. And we appreciate you watching GOAT's Greatest of All Time, University of Miami Hurricanes on Kane Sport. We'll see you next time.